Live league action. In 2018, the Auckland Rugby League is putting the game in your hands. Never miss a hit from New Zealand's premier rugby league competition. Run it straight to the breakfast team Fridays from 8:20 a.m. when they tackle the toughest competition in town. To get the inside edge on where you can watch the action live and free, hit up aucklandleague.co.nz. Live league action. aucklandleague.co.nz.
Oh my
Some
dear.
of the hits in this one here.
Love the college rugby league.
Williams again leading the way. Murray getting involved as well. They come back towards the middle of the park. And oh, guess what? Another big hit. Knock on, so what a hit there for you.
Love the college rugby league. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Troy Hardy. I'm with ARL TV. Denny Allen, the chairman of the Howick Hornets, is with us here today. They're hosting us down here at Paparoa Park. Big game today. Mount Albert plays the Howick Hornets, so it's 6-play-5. And it would be fair to say that Howick's probably the bogey team for Mount Albert. Mount Albert will say no, that doesn't happen, but in the last 3 or 4 seasons, that seems to be the way it rolls. Anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to hand over a mic so we can hear from Danny, because that will work, and we're going to talk about some of the action that's happening down here today. So you take that one, mate.
Thanks, Troy. Cheers, mate.
So, mate, let's talk about Canteen Kids. You got a wee bit of action happening down here for that, you hairy little animal. So tell us what's happening.
Yeah, so anyway, a couple of months ago, Jeff Martai from Canteen, which is a group that supports teenagers with suffering with cancer.
Yep.
and their family as well. He approached us. He was a reserves coach here a few years ago, so he had a little bit of a relationship, and he said, I want to try something. How about you guys, do you want to help out? And we're like, what do you want us to do? And he says, I want you guys to grow your hair long for a couple of months.
Yep.
And get everyone on board and start
You certainly
donating.
achieved that, haven't you?
Well, if you're going to do it, you go all in, mate.
Yeah.
That's the Howick way. So we give it everything we got. And so, me and another committee member, Muzz, and 3 of our topside boys, they've jumped on board, and they're as hairy as I am. And we're going to get our heads shaved, completely bald, clean,
Oh, wow.
just to sort of show our support. And,
Yep.
it's a tough thing for people, suffering with cancer, especially teenagers who they're in that tough part of their lives, where they're trying to find out who they are and they're growing.
Absolutely.
They might want to play sport and things like that, and they
Yep.
get cut down by a horrible disease that pretty much there's no cure for. So we just want to help out how we can.
So how's that shaped up, mate? I understand you've raised a fair bit of coin.
Yeah, we've done quite well. Probably more from the face-to-face donations. I think people take it personally when you explain it to them and talk to them. And so we've been collecting the last couple of home games, and there is a Give a Little page that's linked to our Facebook blog there. And so hopefully that's starting to tick over. And we've got a few donations that have been coming in from other clubs. We're really impressed. We had Richmond here as a home game a few weeks back, and they helped out, and we thought that was really honourable and a great thing to do. So
Awesome. And I understand the firm and SAS have got involved with you guys as well.
Yeah. Well, the firm, we're really blessed by having a really strong supporters group, and they're organised and mobile, and they get it. So they've put it out there, and they've raised some good funds and to help out. And SAS have, proud sponsors of the Fox. They've put it out there as well, and had a talk to Tim, and he's going to be here today, and he was really excited about the idea of helping out.
Awesome,
something different, and something that can affect everyone. We don't really even know when it's going to happen to our family. So
Yeah, absolutely. Look, in regards to the Howick Hornets, there's a lot happening on a hosting day. So after the main match today, what happens up the club?
Yeah, well, we're renowned for having a good time at the Hornets, and all the boys attest to that. We like to kick back after the game up to the club and have a good feed and have a chat about things. And obviously today there's a bit of a special happening straight after the game at 4:30. We're going to be upstairs, and we've got Sol Brea, who are a hairdressing outfit in Howick. that Jeff's organised, and they're going to line us up and shave our heads, and hopefully
Awesome.
get us looking like normal people, not cavemen. Yeah.
And anyone can come along to the club, tonight?
Oh, mate, anyone's welcome to the club at any time, mate. And so, if they want to get on board and help out in that respect with the canteen thing, and just to come and watch and support, get along, we welcome anyone to our club. So, yeah, it's a good family club, and everyone enjoys being here. So, come along by all means. Yep.
And look, finally, mate, support in any grassroots club is really, really important.
Yeah.
So outside of the volunteers, and a big shout out to the Howick Hornet volunteers and the crew, sponsors, let's have a talk about them. Without them, we wouldn't survive, mate. And I know you've got a wee bit of a shout out there, so don't be shy about that list down there. Let's smash it.
Yeah, well, we're really, really lucky that we've had some major sponsors that have been around for a long time. Scott Electrical.
Yep.
They took a year off last year, but there was a reason for that. They're trying to grow the business, and John from Scott Electrical, he's supported us for over 10 years now, and so we're very proud of that relationship. And he's a good man, and obviously a great company, and they support rugby league throughout the country, so it's a great thing. We've also got PIC Insurance, have helped us out for a number of years.
Yep.
The firm, obviously, and which is a way for the mums and dads to be part of a group that they can then sponsor the club. So that's a great way,
Yeah, absolutely.
BSR Concrete, Brad, he's a club legend, and he's been around forever, life member, played right through from under 6 all the way until he's broken, and he's still supporting the club wherever he can, along with McCamish Metals and Shady from Storage and Distribution Specialists. So we're really blessed with those guys as major sponsors, and obviously all our jersey sponsors as well. So it takes a lot of work, and every club
absolutely.
knows that you need help, and so you work hard for it. We prove to our sponsors that we deserve to be here, and then they often understand how it all goes. And so we've got a thriving junior club, and it all runs off the back of the energy coming from the support.
One last thing is, like, for the sponsors, does the live stream work well for you?
Yeah, well, it's an interesting thing. Like I'm looking right now straight across, and I can see signage from all our jersey sponsors and major sponsors around. So on the fence and along the ropes there. So hey, any exposure we can get, and we appreciate our ARL TV for that, because it is hard. There's not a lot you can offer.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? It's a passion for most people, and that's why they want to be involved. But if you can give a little bit back and be front up for the community, then there you go.
Cool. Well, listen, thanks very much for your time. On behalf of the Auckland Rugby League, we want to thank you for hosting us down here today. Best of luck with today's match, the big clash with Howick Hornet up against Mount Albert. We're going to get ready to shoot over to Corey and have the coaches interview, so don't go away as we get ready for the build-up for the big kick-off today. Turn your mics on.
Welcome back. We're now joined by Howick Hornets head coach Sean Clark. Well, Sean, a bit of a tough fortnight for you guys. Back-to-back losses, Otahuhu and Mangere East. You've managed to put your finger on what's gone wrong?
Just a bit of a mental block. Obviously, the boys have got to take it personal. They actually got to go out there and prove that they want to be in this team and want to be playing Fox level. Last week we were in the game for 70 minutes, 30 points to 16. And then, Harlem Globetrotters come out from Mangere East. I think they've been live streamed a few games, and, they can actually play footy. And when it sticks, it sticks. And it actually came off last week for them. So congratulations to them. And,
It's pretty congested around that top 4. You've dropped out for the time being. Despite the last fortnight's results, what's the morale like in the camp?
The boys are still keen to play, so that's good to see. Definitely got point to prove today against Mount Albert. They're definitely pushing for that top 4 as well, and you need to win every game from here on to stay in the hunt.
And the injury front, looking at your team list, there's not too many names missing. How's things looking injury-wise and player availability-wise?
We lost both our centres, Isaiah and Seluni. We lost Reese to Cup today, junior, our young prop, is debuting for the 20s today. So good luck to Junior. But hey, can't worry about who's not here. We've got the 17 players that we need today, and hopefully they can do the job.
Now, you've got a great recent record against Mount Albert. It dates back to the last couple of seasons where you seem to have sort of been their bogey side. You knocked them out of the semis last year, got the better of them earlier this year. The boys must really look forward to this game.
Yeah, it's always a good battle against Mount Albert. No matter where you play them or who's playing for each team, both teams get up for this game. Hopefully it's a good live stream game, and it's a good prospect for younger players wanting to come to both clubs.
Now, Trent Bishop went to Mount Albert at the start of the year, now back with Howick, obviously a Howick boy originally. Is he looking forward to this one?
Yeah, I guess so. It's hard to put my finger on Trent. He's a character, I'll give him that. But yeah, he'll definitely be up for this game, I'd say.
The key for you guys today, coming off back-to-back losses, what's the key that gets the job done for today, Sean?
Playing for 80 minutes, completing our sets. We play in patches, so hopefully today it's a 80-minute patch, and we can actually win the territory game, which is, it's all about footy when you're playing, and if you're in the right areas and you've got good opportunities to score points, and actually our defense will be our big concern for us today. We'll definitely be putting a big emphasis on that.
Sean, thanks for joining us. We're going to let you get back to finish warming the team up now. All the best today.
Yep, no worries. Thanks, Corey.
We're now joined by head coach of the Mount Albert Lions, Keith Hanley. Well, Keith, back to winning ways last week after a very tough month. It must be a bit of a pressure reliever last week to get the big victory over Marist.
Yeah, shucks. Honestly, can't say anything different than that, Corey. It's huge relief to get a W last week. And yeah, like you alluded to, very tough month prior.
42-10 winners. What were the major improvements last week compared to the previous sort of 4 games?
Yeah, mate, I think what it is when you hit a rut, it's your processes, and you haven't been executing or following them through accurately enough. And when we've done a little bit of reflection, I think that's what's shone out for us, is just getting back to what the things we do well, and being a bit more efficient and effective with those.
Howick, traditionally a bit of a bogey side for Mount Albert, particularly in recent times. Knocked you out of the semi last year and then got the better of you earlier this year. Can you put your finger on what it is about this team that I guess sometimes your boys sort of really struggle coming up against them?
Oh, mate, I think Howick, for a start, they're a very motivated sort of a team. The club here do a lot of hard work to get in behind that, and there's nothing better for them, I think, than to come up against us and try and give us a little bit of a footy lesson. So, yeah, pretty straightforward. Yeah.
We know that Howick really get up for this game. Is that a similar feeling in your camp? It gets circled on the calendar, and everyone lifts that little bit for this game.
Oh, I think every team in the comp, when they see Mount Albert, they get pretty excited. For us, it's all about us, mate. Like we're just trying to get better. We're trying to be a better footy team, better coaches, all the rest of it, and hopefully we'll put out a good performance today.
Now, Dylan Rota, who traditionally has been more a fullback, he comes into the halves today. Aiden Awe starts at hooker, so a couple of key changes in the spine. How confident are you that those boys will transition seamlessly into those roles?
Oh, mate, hugely confident. Like Aiden's a good young fellow. He's come through the grades at Mount. He knows our systems really, really well, so full faith in him. And as for young Rota, he's one of the X-Factor boys that we have. We've simplified his role today, so I don't think we'll be demanding anything too much from him that he isn't capable of delivering, so very confident.
Now, young Emmanuel Tomovavi Gerard gets his first run with the Jersey Flag Warriors team. As a coach, you must be very proud to see these boys go through and achieve higher honours.
Oh, mate, yeah, always stoked to see that transition happening, and wishing E-Man and his family the best for today. Yeah.
Right, finally, Keith, what gets the job done today? What do you need to do well?
Yeah, we need to be a lot more effective with our defence. We need to get our time, our tempo on the ground. All the little processes that we do accurately, we need to be efficient at today. Ball in hand, we've got to play a bit more football than these blokes to get over them. We're not a big side. We've got to generate our push through shape. And, mate, we just have to be very, very effective at both sides of the ball to get a result. There's nothing more than that.
Yeah, very well said. Keith, we're going to let you get back to warming the boys up now. Thanks for joining us and all the best today.
Thanks for your time, Corey. Cheers, eh?
Now we're going to throw out to the field, take a little look at the conditions here at Paparoa Park before we build up to kick off here in round 13 of the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership. Thanks very much. Welcome back in, ladies and gentlemen, to round 13 of the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership. We are live from Paparoa Park. The Howick Hornets taking on the Mount Albert Lions, a traditional bogey match. And these two teams sitting next to each other on the ladder, 5th and 6th position respectively. And the winner, a very good chance of ending the weekend back inside the competition's top 4. The crucial top 4, that is of course the playoff spots. And as we get to the final 5 or 6 rounds of this competition, being in those positions getting more crucial by the week. Should be a really good match here today. We're going to take a little look at some of the results that have gone on over the past 2 weeks. Starting with the 2nd division, the Crown of Trucks Sharman Cup. Start with a little look at some of the games going on around the grounds today. Bay Roskill are at home to the Mount Wellington Warriors. The Ellerslie Eagles take on Waitemata at the Ellerslie Domain. Te Atatū versus Ponsonby shapes as a really good game. Te Atatū, after a roaring start to the year, they've fallen away badly over the last few weeks, and they're a real chance of dropping out of the top 8 should they lose to Ponsonby, who have been one of the real pace setters in the competition so far. Newland take on the Franklin Storm. Franklin continuing to sit in 2nd position, undefeated so far, and the team keeping pace with the Bay Roskill Vikings at the top. The Manurewa Marlins, they will face the Northern Brothers at Mountford Park, while the Otara Scorpions, they take on the Manukau Magpies in a Southside derby. A little look at some of the results last week from the 2nd division as well. And it was the Northern Brothers who got up 18-14 over the Otara Scorpions. A quality win there for the North Shore Club. Pakuranga Jaguars 28-22 over Papatoetoe, who were without a win at the bottom of the ladder. But Pakuranga just holding on to get past them in the end. Bay Roskill comfortable winners 50-14 over at the Newland Stags. The Manukau Magpies and Ellerslie Eagles, they couldn't be split at the end of 80 minutes, 28 all. In the end, the Franklin Storm, 30-18 over Te Atatū. Another big statement from the Franklin Storm, which is a amalgamated club made up of Tuakau, Waiuku and the Pukekohe clubs. And the Ponsonby Ponies, 37-14 winners over the Waitemata Seagulls. Manurewa Marlins having the bye in that one. We'll bring up now the Sharman Cup ladder and take a little look at how things sit in the second division. And at the top, it is the undefeated Bay Roskill Vikings, a perfect 10 from 10. Tucked in just behind them, the Franklin Storm, who have 8 wins to their name, a draw earlier in the year, which they lost the points for due to a player eligibility issue. Ponsonby Ponies nestled in just behind, along with the Ellerslie Eagles. And then the Manurewa Marlins and Otala Scorpions just hanging on there, avoiding that log jam of teams stuck on 10 competition points. The Te Atatū Roosters, Pakuranga Jaguars, Newland Stags, Northern Brothers, and then just a little further back, Waitemata, Mount Wellington in their first year back in the Sharman Cup, Manukau, Hibiscus Coast, and at the bottom, still yet to pick up a victory, the Papatoetoe Panthers. So that's how things look in the second division. We'll now take a little look at some of the action in the first division over the last week. Starting with last week's results. Otahuhu, big winners over the Richmond Bulldogs. It was our live stream game, 50 points to 12. Boy, they played some attractive footy in that game. Mount Albert, they got back to winning ways after 4 straight losses, 42-10 over the Marist Saints, who sit at the bottom of the ladder, still yet to pick up a victory this year. And the clock is ticking in the race to avoid relegation for the Marist Saints. Glenora, great past Northcote in the Root Rooster match. Glenora, without a number of players, managed to get past Northcote, who were, by all accounts, a real dogged competitor in that one. Hung in there, and in the end, Glenora getting home by 4 points. Point Chevalier, 46-22, they took care of Papakura. And the big one, the Mangere East Hawks getting up 32-30. It had a bit of a trigger effect for the rest of the ladder there, which saw Otahuhu jump into the top 4 and Howick drop out. So that's how things went down last week in the first division. We'll look at the games on today. Marist take on Glenora. It doesn't get any easier for the Marist Saints, who had a tough one last week against Mount Albert and now take on the ladder leaders and the defending premiers. Obviously, Howick taking on Mount Albert here at Paparoa Park. Papakura versus Northcote. Point Chevalier take on Otahuhu. That's a top 4 clash. Point Chevalier, the joint ladder leaders, taking on the Otahuhu Leopards, who jump into the top 4 for the first time last week. While Mangere East take on Richmond. That's a big game for Richmond. They really need some points to, I guess, avoid any threat of relegation as we head into the final few rounds of the season. So that's the action that's going on in the Fox. Let's now take a look at the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership ladder. And as mentioned earlier, it is the Glenora Bears and Point Chevalier Pirates who sit at the top. 11 wins and just the 1 loss for both of those two teams. Glenora with a fairly handsome points for and against advantage, though, which sees them hold the top spot, although they're tied on competition points. Nestled in just behind the Northcote Tigers. 8 wins to their name so far. Going really well, and importantly, have footed it with those other top 4 teams so far this year. Otahuhu, they jump into the top 4 last week on points difference. Mount Albert and Howick, so this is why this game is so big. 5th and 6th position, respectively. Hardly any points for and against difference. So the winner today, a good chance of jumping into that top 4 with Otahuhu taking on Point Chevalier, which will be a really tough clash for the Leopards. Nestled in just behind them, Mangere East Hawks on 5 wins. Had a great win last week against Howick. Papakura and Richmond on 4 points, and at the bottom, the Marist Saints. So there it is. That's how things stand heading into round 13 of the competition. I'm now going to welcome into the commentary booth for the first time today after the preamble, Troy Hardy. Well, Troy, nice little crowd building down here, and certainly it's got that feeling about it. It's going to be a big game today.
Absolutely. There's a number of people, especially up there at the firm, they've made themselves a corporate box up on the hill there, Corey. And they're certainly making themselves well entrenched here for today's match. And don't the Howick Hornet fans love the game against the Mount Albert Lions?
Yeah, there is no bigger game really for this club, you would have to say. I mean, we'll get a shot at some point of the team up on the hill there in the little corporate box there. They've got the scaffolding out, a really nice setup here. But interestingly, the firm become a really important part of the Howick Hornets club here, not only in terms of support, but also raising funds within the club as well. And there we can see them up on the hill there enjoying a couple of apple juices by the look of it.
Green tea.
So big shout out to the boys at the firm. I know they usually have the live stream streaming on the phone up there as well. So a big thank you to your support Every good club needs a strong old boys network, and in the firm they have that. A big shout out as well to all the individual sponsors at this club. They're a real proactive, forward-thinking club, the Howick Hornets. We arrived down here early today, saw all the junior games going on. It's a really nice feeling down here. Everyone gets out and helps out. So now building towards kickoff. Our middle referee today is Chris McMillan, his second SAS Fox Memorial Premiership game of the year. Of course, he was a touchy for the Denver test a couple of weeks ago, so he's been all around the world. In the last few weeks, Chris McMillan, he is the top referee in Auckland these days. We don't get to see a lot of him, Troy, because he genuinely is reffing at either NRL or reserve grade level, but great to have someone of his caliber back as well.
Absolutely, and look, we've been really fortunate, Corey, especially over the last 3 to 4 seasons. We've seen Chris in action, man. He's a fantastic referee, and we're very lucky to have him. So, big raps on Chris McMillan, mate. Fantastic to have you down here today for the main clash of the SAS Fox Memorial.
And he'll be assisted by Maxine Godinay on one side and Corey Jewell on the other. So, a big thank you to the Auckland Rugby League Referees Association as well, ARL SAS.co.nz, if you are interested in getting involved. And certainly, between all the games and the footy we see throughout the year, Troy, we see the commitment that these match officials have, not only on Saturdays and Sundays, but also midweek in the SAS College Rugby League competition as well, where people sort of take time off work to officiate those games. So your input is very well appreciated.
Got to give big raps to the match manager today, Mike Farrelly. Mike Farrelly, the official sponsor of Women in League. And we've got a big day tomorrow. We've got a couple of big clashes live streaming, courtesy of the Auckland Rugby League. And get to those matches, come into our website, aucklandleague.co.nz. And the live stream will be brought to you again by our live stream partners, Ctas.
Yeah, it's going to be a big day out at Cornwall Park. Do get out and have a watch if you can. 6 games in total going on across the day. Some from the Farrelly Photos Women's Senior Competition, as well as the new age grade competitions, which I'm particularly excited to see in action. I know that certainly plugging that gap, I guess, where girls are now able to play rugby league right from the mini mods through to senior women's rugby league. Certainly a big move for the game, and also this year involving the girls in the Jets camp as well at the start of the year, Troy. It's all positive stuff, and there's some really good moves being made in the women's space.
Absolutely, and really looking forward to that. And I dare say, we've got a number of marquee players that come out of the Auckland Rugby League competition that, that have been very fortunate to go into the NRL. So, it's a pretty successful comp, and you see some wonderful talent in that footy space. So don't miss that action. As we said, we go live tomorrow, Sunday, back to back, and ARL TV's on the job. So to get to that live link through aucklandleague.co.nz, click on, love to have you, come and join us. Be fantastic.
Yeah, and the Farrelly Photos Women's Premiership game between Richmond and Mount Albert, that's going to see a whole lot of Kiwi Ferns hopefuls come up against each other, but also girls who are vying for spots in that NRL competition as well. So very much looking forward to that. And of course, the Auckland competition, it is responsible for the majority of the Kiwi Ferns. I think from memory, 23 of the 25 players at the World Cup last year in the Kiwi Ferns squad coming from the Auckland competition. So it's going to be really good. It's one of the few places where you can watch national representatives in action for free. So do get down to Cornwall Park. If you can't get down there, tune into our live stream on aucklandleague.co.nz. We can see the kids just having a bit of an impromptu game of footy on the field there now as both sides make their way to the clubhouse in preparation for coming out onto the field here for what is a huge game in the Auckland First Division. We'll bring up the 2 team lists now and run you through the sides as they will take the field. And the Howick Hornets, fairly well as named, the only change, a jersey swap, which I'll get to later in the piece. But George Edwards, vastly experienced man. He is the fullback, won the Fox with Papakura a couple of years ago. A nice man to have at the back of the field. Jesse Kevin and Aaron Tulafono are the wingers. Anthony Foimoono and Louis Tussa are the centres. In the halves, young Liam Prendergast and the experienced Drew Rudich, who is at Howick across from a couple of years spent at Otahuhu. Tony Tuia, the veteran front rower, he joins the youngster Troy Pulipaki. And at number 9, Jethro Friend, the captain. I'll speak of experience. Jethro's played at those higher levels, captained Auckland earlier this year as well. A very handy man to have at the bottom of the ruck. In the back row, Nick Wilson, Johnny Vuiti-Bau, and locking the scrum, he will be playing lock, but he'll be wearing 17, Trent Bishop. And on the bench for Howick, Luke Armiger, Brandon Lee, Taylor Polder, and Jonah Tau, who is named in the 17 there, but will wear number 13. And for the Mount Albert Lions, the back, Ctas Taulu, Milan Brown, and Semisi Tyrell are the wingers. Royden Gillett and Jared Tua are the centres. Jared Tua, we've seen him more as a back rower. In fact, he is, solely a back rower, but asked to do a job today in the centres. He will captain the side and moves from the back row into the centres. Trent Wallace and Dylan Rota are the halves. Rota will wear 17, but will be playing halfback. Up in the engine room, Salah Falilua Malio and Dion Snell, the hooker, young Aidan Awe, and in the back row, a couple of late changes there as well. Rory Ropati comes into the starting side. He'll wear 11. Paia Palu is the 12, and locking the scrum, Afa Viatupu. And on the bench, a couple of changes there as well. Jesse Amiatu, Koma Sampson, Matthew Cully, and Matui Cully. That is how they will take the field. Howick coached by Sean Clark, and Mount Albert coached by Keith Hanley. Well, Troy, Mount Albert, they get the win last week, but it had been a horror month prior to that. 4 losses on the trot for them. They were in all sorts of trouble, but by all accounts, morale still pretty high in this squad. They're missing a few key guys today. What are you expecting from the Lions today?
To bounce back, they're a professional outfit there. They've got a class act. They've got some really good coaching staff there, and not much better comes than young Bluey, being involved with their strategy. So we've talked about, Mount Albert having this bogey team being the Hornets. And, if you ask anybody at Mount Albert, they go, no, it's bollocks. But, every game that we've live streamed just so happens that, the Howick Hornets get up for this, as you mentioned in the preamble. They really enjoy playing against Mount Albert Lions, and I think Tony Tuia leads the charge on that lot. So look for him to G up his side today. I think he'll be very vocal, and we're in for a big tussle here this afternoon.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting how Mount Albert handle a couple of things in this. 2 key changes to their spine. Aidan Awe, who's been a bench hooker for most of the year, actually hasn't played a lot of Fox in total. He comes in to start at number 9 with Johnny Falilua Malio out, but also Dylan Rota coming into the halves. He's a really good fullback, but interesting to see how he'll make that adjustment in the halves. Of course, he's got a pretty handy guy next to him in Trent Wallace, who's vastly experienced, one of the best playmakers in the Auckland competition.
Bit of interest here. Toria's sort of, lines are all lined up, ready to go. And the Howick Hornets are just strolling out now. So I don't know if there's a little bit of mind games going on. But, some of the younger teams are lining up there as the Howick Hornets take the field. And welcome to the Hornets' Nest. We're in for a big clash here today, ladies and gentlemen. If you've just joined us, SAS Fox Memorial, major sponsors. And looking forward to a wonderful game of football. If you're in the area, come down and join us. The canteen is open. The bar is flowing with lots of green tea. Come down and join us.
The Howick Hornets making their way out. A couple of noticeable absences in the back line for them and also in the pack. So they're not without their own injury worries, the Howick Hornets, but the key men are there. Edwards, Radic and Jethro Friend. And I would imagine the way Jethro Friend is playing this year, he will be a strong contender for Auckland Player of the Year because, in my opinion, there's no better dummy half in the competition right now, along with Zach Tippins, who's playing wonderful footy at Glenora. But Jethro Friend really sets the pace on both sides of the ball, and you'll see it in this game. His energy that he brings to the bottom of the ruck, Troy, he was always trying to speed things up,
Absolutely.
always talking,
Yeah.
always getting things going,
Yep.
but also on defence. Not uncommon for him to chew through 30, 40 tackles a game. So he's a big one for them. It's going to be a great match. Chris McMillan about to get us underway. Round 13 of the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership. Jesse Kevin.
A lot of support on the hill. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to take the gloves off.
So Ctas Taulu hands it in, and then they hand off straight to a former Howick man, Dion Snell. Won the Auckland Player of the Year award with the Howick Hornets in 2014 before coming across to Mount Albert. He's gone from strength to strength since then. Awe now, the little bobble at dummy half, and an early era for Mount Albert. Well, we touched on his inclusion in the squad, how that would change things. A rough start for young Aidan Awe, who came through the Kelston Boys High School system. He's a Mount Albert boy through and through. He's been through the grades here. I know they've got a lot of faith in him.
The Mount Albert coaching staff won't be happy with the start to the match with a handling error. That'll be something that wasn't on the strategy cards.
Mount Albert, a nasty habit of late of leaking 26 points or more in games, so that'll be something they certainly need to address. Defense, the real key for them today, because this Howick side, boy, they have got some points in them. As Bishop now plays at the line, a looping ball out the back, and there's space on the right edge here. The ball down around the legs, and Tulafono puts it down. So Mount Albert dodged a bullet there. It was a poor final pass. Just calling Trent Bishop in the lead up there, Troy. How will he be feeling in this one? Transferred across to Mount Albert at the start of the year, ends up back at Howick now, and comes up against, I guess you'd call them his former side for the first time.
I think he'll cherish the moment in regards to being out there. Mount Albert boys, though, will probably have a different view on it.
Oh, I'm sure. So back into it we go now. Mount Albert, after that false start, I guess you would call it, the bobble from dummy half. Back into it now. Interesting to see Jared Tua getting involved early with the carry, despite playing in the centres. A late reshuffle to cover for an injury out wide.
I think it'd be wise to keep a lazy eye on Nick Wilson. I think he'll be in for a big match today.
Yeah, fast approaching game number 100 as Nick Wilson sits on 98 coming into this one. So 100 games at Fox level, no mean feat.
Looking to have his celebration against Northcote down here, and Nick told me personally he'll be putting jugs on for all the boys.
So fielded in now by Kevin. Dominant tackle that time by Snell and Awe. Big Tony Tuia. Good first carry forward from Tony T. Takes him up to halfway. And a little rub in the face for Rory Ropati as well. Nick Wilson now, the man we were just talking about. Friend jumps out of dummy half, and now they go to Bishop, who dummies. Instead runs, tackled by Falilo Malio underneath, but there's an error. Just trying too hard to get to his feet that time, Bishop. Comes up with the mistake. So a mistake each way to open this one. 2 mistakes from Howick when you factor in the earlier one, the dropped ball of the try line begging.
There's a couple of caveman people out there getting ready for the canteen shave later on this afternoon, Corey. And,
yeah, brilliant effort from the club, isn't it? And we understand they're fast approaching $4,000 raised for that one. You can donate. There's a link on the Howick Hornets Facebook page. And also a few people going around with buckets today. But yeah, you're right, Troy. I saw a couple of Wolverines earlier.
Tony Tuia, the caveman version out there.
Awe now to Snell. Good line speed though from Howick. They hit him down on halfway. Via Tupu. Awe jumps out now, weaves through a couple. Puipaki
Nice
holds
run.
on and just as well. Last tackle coming up. Rota set to one side. Wallace is the dummy half. It's going to go the way of Rota, who dribbles a little kick in behind. Not much doing on it, and it's easily cleaned up by George Edwards, who now goes straight on the counter, spots a little gap in the Mount Albert kick chase. Probably not the ideal setup that time when Trent Wallace has to be the dummy half. You really want him or Rota set either side there come last tackle, and another play the ball error. And that's a poor one. That's their second error in the play the ball of the game. And Troy just trying too quickly, I think, to get to the feet there. Similar story for Bishop a couple of minutes earlier.
Yeah, I think both sides are guilty of just trying to settle themselves into it. You know, there's been a number of errors both sides. Only one completion so far by Mount Albert. And this has probably been the best field position for the Lions so far into this half. So let's see if they can mount a bit of pressure here.
Wallace brings Tua back in on the inside. Been heavily involved early on. You wouldn't know he was playing in the centres, Jared Tua. Salah Falilo Amalio, one of Mount Albert's best this year.
Yeah, he's had a great season, had some massive minutes.
And gets the penalty at the end of that one as well. Trent Bishop, the man who is penalised, Aidan Awe, tries to tap and go, called back by McMillan.
Wait, what are you going to do? Wait. Where you go?
So Awe to Viatupu. Driving those legs close to the line. 4 defenders involved at one point there for Howick. Awe looking left and right. Jumps out of dummy half, Aidan Awe. There it is, the opening try. And it is the youngster, Aidan Awe. Spots up the little gap at the bottom of the ruck. Let's take a look now on the SAS Sport replay. It's a good initial carry from Afa Viatupu. Mentioned how many defenders that one involved. Well, that's the key contributor to this try, because from there, look at that.
He burgled it.
Sold Trent Bishop down the river. He was looking out the back. Meanwhile, young Awe says, I'll take that one.
Welcome to Fox, young man. Gets 4 points on the board. Hornets in conference over there as we wait for the kick to come. Big shout out to Scott Electrical there in the background.
Yeah, the principal sponsors of the Howick Hornets. So a shout out to Russell Gordon Contractors for the Mount Albert Lions. As Wallace puts the kick over, so a great start for the Mount Albert Lions. 7 minutes gone and the Lions sit on a 6-0 lead. And it came off the error coming out of yardage.
Stay behind. Let's see, guys. Hit through. Okay, one take two.
Dion Snell gets us back underway, takes it straight back, bounces out of the initial one from Friend, who comes back for a second effort. Gets him down now, Falilo Malio. Came across from Te Aratu with little brother Johnny for the start of this year. They were standouts for Te Aratu last year, the pair of them.
Good cover tackle there.
And gets the penalty. That's really good work there from Dylan Rota. Fought in the tackle. And gets the penalty at the end of it as well.
Yeah, Howick will need to show a bit of patience. You know, a couple of penalties back to back, not good.
So Wallace puts that one into touch. Restart off Awe. Goes to Rota, who plays short, flat ball at the line to Falilo Amalio. Won the national title with Kelston back in the day. One of many Kelston graduates in this Mount Albert side. Here's another of them, Awe. Back to the middle, ball's come loose though, and it's cleaned up by George Edwards. So Mount Albert failed to find points on the back of their earlier try. Now, Howick just need to settle things down a little bit, get through a few completions. They have been guilty of being a little sloppy to start this game. Nick Wilson now spots up Brown, who does admirably down low the winger. Friend now jumps out of dummy half. He spots up a little gap and he'll go 10. Taken the ground by Viatupu and gets the penalty. Great work from Jethro Friend. Earns his side the penalty.
Hornets looking to mount something here. We just see Big Tony Tuia's son run by. Jesse Kevin, good to be out there with his dad today.
And to give everyone at home some reference on that one, we understand Jesse's picked up the nickname of Tony Tuia's son. Likes to hang out with the more
Dad.
senior members of the Howick Club. I'm sure the firm will appreciate that one as well. Now, speaking of Tuia, there's Dad playing at the line now. Bishop goes out the back and hitting it at pace. Good defence from Mount Albert, though. They hold on down low. They are right up against the line here now. They're at 6s and 7s, Mount Albert. The little dart, maybe not the best option there. They looked shot on the edge. Friend jumps into dummy half, scoots out to the right side. That's where they should have gone earlier. The little flick out the back. That's lovely play. That's going to be a try. That is brilliant from the Howick Hornets. Let's take a look on the SAS Sport replay.
Chris McMillan right on the spot too. He doesn't miss a beat, that man.
And really, they should have gone right at the first instance. Friend then makes amends for it. And look at that lovely little round the corner ball from Anthony Foimaono. Puts his winger away, and the try is scored by Anthony Tulafono. My apologies, Aaron Tulafono. I think got the A names mixed up a little there.
Once again, big shout out to the Howick Hornets. Thank you for hosting the ARL down here today as we have the kick to come. And good crowd up there on the Hornets bank.
Radic moves in, and it's a good kick.
Great
so
kick.
we're all tied up. 11 minutes gone. Round 13 of the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership. So good set that time from the Howick Hornets. Couple of big telling carries and then just class out on the edge. Foimaono picking out the pass.
Here comes big Tony T off the back fence.
Tackled well though by Royden Gillett, another of the former Howick Hornets in this Mount Albert side. Saw him down here watching one of the junior games earlier. Bishop plays at the line. He's done a fair bit of that so far. Hands off to Troy Pulupaki, Mount Wellington Warriors Junior, 19 years of age. Bishop this time straighten things up, takes them to up over halfway. There's a Mount Albert player down in back play. He's up and okay now. Pulipaki. Another good carry. Had a couple of big ones in this set. Has Pulipaki. Friend now centralizes to Radic, who will look to the sky. The chase is pretty good from Howick. Here's a tester for Rota. Takes it brilliantly though, Dylan Rota, and now goes to the sideline. Needs to be careful. Pops it back in. And that's a Howick ball. I think you'll find Mount Albert have somehow wrestled it. Now it's going to be called a strip.
Tackle complete and we've stripped it. Tackle complete and we've gone, mate. George, over here, mate.
He did really well to take it initially, Dylan Rota, and then tried to go on the outside. He was going to get bundled into touch. Into basketball at back in field.
Wait. Go.
Nick Wilson,
Royden, get up. Last foot on the line.
represented counties last year. Has really come on in the last couple of seasons, Wilson. Bishop now plays at the line. They link back up out the back. Here's a powerful carry forward from Vuiti Bal, who's just short of the line. And now, crisp ball out of dummy half. And there it is. The Howick Hornets are in for the second. And it is Trent Bishop. He will savour that one.
He was probably getting congratulated by his ex-teammates there. They were having a little bit of a chat.
Starts
Great spin
here
and
with,
turn out of there, wasn't he?
yeah, really
Showed a
nice
bit of
play
strength.
from Vuiti Bal. And then look at the pass here from Jethro Friend. No nonsense on this one. Bang, straight to Trent Bishop. And you're not going to stop him from there. So Bishop gives Howick their first lead of the day. Sets Drew Radic up with a nice, easy one from in front.
Interesting, eh? Both tries off the back of a penalty as the young Howick Hornets ball boys walk by. How you going, young fellas? Yeah, good to hear from you. Waiting for the kick to come. So just saying there, Corey, yeah, and both those tries off the back of a penalty. And
The discipline, a bit of a theme so far in this one.
Mount Albert, we're wanting to address that and welcome into all of our viewers around the South Pacific Islands, all over Australia, in fact, all around the world. And if you get on our Facebook, give us a like or a shout out, let us know where you are, and we'll certainly bring you into the match. Corey loves to do that sort of stuff. As he shakes his head next to me, Chris McMillan having a bit of a chat out there at halfway. I think the
Relates to-
hooker's going to check. Is it a head knock, maybe?
Blood bin by the look of it for Aiden Alway. Cody Walker runs out to clear a bit of claret.
Okay, stay behind, fellas. Good.
He's coming again, Big Tony.
Tony Tuia again tackled really well by that right edge combo for the Mount Albert Lions.
Hold, mate. Wait. Go, 1.
The vastly experienced Royden Gillett
To the side, 3.
played some footy with the Wenty Magpies over in the Intrust Super Premiership New South Wales Cup.
Thanks, mate. Dion, move now. Just here, Coma, have a look. Go, 3, Coma.
Friend goes to Bishop now. Bishop dummies and goes straight through Trent Bishop. Heavily involved so far.
Release.
Plenty of positives, but also some negatives. A couple of handling errors and a penalty. Pulipaki gets the ball out the back. Edwards is on hand to pick it up. Looks up and sees nothing but yellow. Fends off one. He's taking the ground 20 metres out from the line. Friend goes out to this right edge now. Foimono settles things with a powerful carry, and that's going to be a handover.
Jared, right there.
May have been a little breakdown of communication there for the Howick Hornets. I'm not sure.
Go, mate.
Foimono was aware it was last tackle.
Go. 0.
Now they ruck it out. Ctas Taulu,
To the side, 3.
who's been a potent finisher on the wing this year, but fullback for the last few weeks. You would assume once they're back to their full complement, Dylan Rota goes back to the fullback position. They are without Reece Joyce today, who was over in Hong Kong helping the Cook Islands Rugby Union team try and qualify for the World Cup. So there you go.
Here goes.
It's not something you hear every day.
Go, Jethro.
So a shout out to Reece and the Cookies.
Move, Jethro. Go forward, Johnny. Get square.
Wallace kicks out of dummy half. And he finds grass. That's a really good kick from Trent Wallace. That's a brilliant kick from Trent Wallace. And the chase is even better. And he's just going to get out. No, he's not.
Easy, guys.
And Trent Wallace, take your hat off. Sensational play from the veteran number 6. The kick was a thing of beauty. Found grass. It was perfectly weighted. And then his chase as well, Troy. The first man there made the initial contact, which allowed Mount Albert to trap him in goal.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
it's
great
brilliant
effort.
work from Wallace.
Just on the line behind him, mate.
Mount Albert will definitely want to build off this set.
Stay on here, boys. Where we going?
Scrappy old dropout, which will end up going 40 as Failor Malio now looks up and says, come here, Trent Bishop.
To the side.
Bishop hangs on down low. Friend finishes over the top.
Go, 1.
Dion Snell,
To the side now. Only works for me, mate. Hold here, hold.
20 out from the line.
2, locked in.
Coma Sampson now, fresh on the field. Plays out the back to Wallace, to Rota. Rota holds it up, steps back inside. A little bit of footwork now. Back to his halves partner and Wallace, who now dances through a couple. There's space on the left edge here. Taulu, the big looping ball over the top. Tua reels it in. Jared Tua scrambling defence from Howick, but I think he's got there, Jared Tua. He has indeed. Jared Tua's in, and Mount Albert are going to have a chance to level things up once again.
Great try, a lot of effort put into that one. He had a lot of work to do to get there to the line as we look at the SAS replay. I thought that pass had gone astray a wee bit. He managed to pull it back in. And lots of work to do here, Corey.
Yeah, lovely ball from Cortez Taulu. The no look cut out over the top, but then Jared Tua, boy, he just kept pushing through them, didn't he? Eventually gets there.
Straight in, straight out.
So the kick to come, and Trent Wallace with the chance to tie things up at 12 points apiece, right on 20 minutes.
Once again, Chris McMillan right on the spot.
Yeah, it's not bad, eh?
We can hear a little bit of the chat going on here with the Lions back at the halfway, so they're showing a wee bit of energy. Some of the trainers are out there. They obviously want to keep mounting pressure and building off, completing their sets of 6. And they had a completion there as they went in for that try, so that was good. And great effort on the drop goal not getting out. You know, I'll rephrase.
Wallace
Kick
steps
is-
in, and it's a good one.
Flags are up.
So we're all tied up.
So getting the ball back from the drop kick certainly work wonders for the Lions, as Corey's just let me drown here.
Anyway, mate. Thanks, buddy. Come on, wood flat, Alan.
So Jesse Kevin back to halfway.
Don't you guys. Hang on, Jesse. Hang on, mate. Hang on, buddy. Hang on, mate. Wait.
Kevin, a high one down to the corner. Bit of a tester here. Wallace reels it in, hands it off to Dion Snell. Good first up contact there. Taylor Polder. He's in the New Zealand Warriors system. Emmanuel Jr. And he did not miss that time. Now, Falilua Malio, though, that's a tough carry. It's good work from
Great little skirt out of the
8,
half.
Aiden Arway as well. As Troy mentions, just reading play really nicely there, and they get the penalty at the end of it. Vuiti Bal, the man penalised. There's the
Great to hear the
firm-
support over there.
the firm give Chris McMillan some advice from up in the corporate lounge up there. I don't think that'll worry our referee today too much at all. As we mentioned earlier, he's just got back from being one of the match officials in the historic Denver test, where England beat the Kiwis
Oh,
at the Mile High Stadium, and that was a telling carry forward there. Looks like everyone is back up to their feet. A really solid carry from Paiapalu. Now Dion Snell.
Just right, stand up, George Edwards here, mate. Hang on, fellas, wait, wait. Go, 2,
Awe down the left edge now. Another good carry from Palu.
Okay, 16.
Was a Mount Albert Jr.
Wait, go, just right.
Awe to Coma Sampson. Sampson, he looks up and he says, I'll have a run. Coma Sampson. Has he got it down? Yes, he has. McMillan points to the spot, and Coma Sampson, just like that, puts the ball under the wing and powers his way over.
If there wasn't a try here, we would penalise, okay? Did you go this way?
See here, he was initially, I think, probably thinking about the little pass back on the inside, but then the little bit of footwork just makes Friend miss on his attempt, and then powers his way over. Great call as well to catch that one. It was hard to see live on the TV screen. Little load down there without any TV help. Coma Sampson, he's an interesting story. Of course, won the Holden Cup with the Junior Warriors back in 2014. He then headed over to France. Was meant to head over with Mason Leno before injury stopped Leno from attending. Spent some time in France. He spent some time in Australia as well with the Mackay Cutters. Back in Auckland and playing some really good footy this year. As Trent Wallace puts the kick over and gives Mount Albert a 6-point lead. 24 minutes gone. A common theme so far, Troy. Real power base to all of these tries, really, whether it's been the carry in the lead up or the actual carry to get over the line. So it's a real forwards game so far.
yeah, the Mount Albert forwards, they're certainly doing a wee bit of work, although young Rory Rapati's been a little bit quiet, but I think the big front rowers have certainly been carrying most of the load.
And here's another one. Dion Snell runs that one back at Tony T.
Wait, go, 1.
Falilua Malio now. Good line speed from Howick and good first up contact as well.
Go, 2.
Ropati. 30 out from the line.
There, mate, have a look.
Looking for a fast play the ball here.
Go, 3.
He's injected good energy, hasn't he? Aiden Arway at dummy half. As Sampson has another good carry.
Tony, stand up. Johnny, here, mate. Wait. Go, 4.
One tackle up the sleeve. Arway jumps out. Did he catch Tony Tuia? Not square. No, he didn't.
Tony, last one.
Tough cookie.
Hold. Go,
Fresh legs on the park in the shape of Jonah Tau as well. Kick up over the top. It'll be Kevin, the man, to bring it in.
Stand 2. Hold here, mate. Wait. Go, 1. LT.
Some of the Howick boys just strolling back into position.
Just here, 9. Go, 2.
This Howick side, they average 26.5 points a game. That's the third best attack in the competition right now.
Go, 3.
And they have scored at least 30 in 3 of their last 4. So attack really is their major boast. But for both these teams today, it's all about defence. As we've seen so far, that defence includes countering the charge in the middle of the
Great
park. It was
run.
a lovely back inside ball. Foymon. Oh. With 2 players and an open line. Let's see if we can catch a replay there for what went wrong. It almost looked like they ran into each other. It's Prendergast who's put it down. Let's take a look now in the SAS replay. You can see it's great work initially here from Vuiti Bal, who breaks through the tackle of 2 players out there, flicks the ball off to Foymono, and then at this point here, It looks like they're in. He's got one either side, gets to the pass, and it did. It was miscommunication in the end. Aaron Tulafono reaching the arm out, and I think probably if he leaves it there, Prendergast goes over. So an unfortunate little breakdown there for the Howick Hornets, but some promising signs on that right edge. Don't be surprised if they go there again.
Yeah, Johnny's looking dangerous over there, mate.
And they possibly like the matchup with Jared Tua defending one wider than he usually does in the centres. Rota now to Ropati.
Oh, what a hit!
Brilliant contact, and I think it's Nick Wilson. In fact, it's the bench man, Jonah Tau. Samson goes to the line, looks out the back now, brings Wallace in, who finds Palu. Palu's tackled on a dominant contact, 45 out from their own line. Wallace gets to his kick. And it's not a great one. It's cleaned up by Radic. Radic will be ragdolled to ground. Just short of the 40 now. George Edwards comes in looking for a bit of work. Effective carry there before he's slammed to ground right on halfway.
Did you hear that? Give me some. Here he gets. Oh, penalty.
Put it in there, mate. Gotta go this side.
Just a little hint of rain starting to come down here at Paparoa Park. Much of it yet, but you watch that situation.
You kick the ball out of his hands, mate.
Certainly the clouds looking fairly ominous.
Wait! Go.
As Armiger taps and goes.
Look at the right.
Towel.
Rory, stand down.
Had some good carries since coming off the bench as Jonah. Tony Tuia now to Prendergast, and now they switch it up. Radic goes out the back to Edwards.
Great.
Edwards now hands it off. Beautiful
Great try.
try. And it is going to be Louis Tussa who goes over.
No, wait.
Check the replay out on that one.
And we're just waiting. In fact, it's going to be called back.
Okay.
Chris McMillan has called it back. I think it's for a forward pass in the lead up.
Go back, mate. No,
Didn't look a lot wrong with it on the live view.
not now, Tony. At a break, mate. At a
It's
break.
back for a penalty, so maybe there was an obstruction in there, Troy. I don't know if you picked anything up on that little play, but it was really nice stuff from Howick, the change of direction.
Run up.
Must have happened a wee bit earlier inside the
Your man can't take
ball
the
being
ball out.
passed along the back line, because at that point she looked like it was all over and bar the screaming.
And that change of direction, we saw the Warriors employ it a lot last night,
Buddy, don't go early.
and well, not to great effect in the end. In a dire old defeat for the Vodafone Warriors
Come here, mate. Here.
against the Penrith
Hold, mate.
Panthers.
Hold. Go. Good.
Let's give a shout out to Jerome Luai, who was brilliant in that game. Second NRL game, I think it was, in the halves for Penrith.
Go.
Rota. Dummies. Takes them up over halfway now. It's Mount Albert winning the arm wrestle right now. Not by much, but enough to hold a 6-point lead on the scoreboard. Wallace to Coma Sampson. Sampson is driven back. Good tackle that time from the Hornets.
Don't go early. Wait. Go.
Awe to Wallace. Wallace dribbles the kick in behind. Not played out, I wouldn't think, so that'll be a handover.
Hand over. Wait.
Wind's getting up too, just quietly.
No, to the side. Rory, keep coming. Here, mate, take a step. Hold. Go. One. Okay. Stand 20.
Good yardage early on here for the Hornets.
Go. Two. Rory, get up now. Here, fellas. Wait. Go.
Armiger.
Up and square. Here, boys. Hold. Wait. Go. Four.
Radic to Tau. Tau is chopped down. Coma Sampson, last tackle coming up now. They head out to the left edge. Radic
Still 5.
switches the play to Armiger, who goes back to Prendergast, who's going to kick across field, but it's an easy take. And it is
A break.
Cully, who takes it, I think, in the end. Breaks away down the right.
Go. One. George is there. Liam, move. Here, mate. Go 2.
Missy Tyrrell, who took the ball and initiated the little break
Okay, let him up
down the
now.
left.
Go 3.
Via
To
Tupu.
the side now. Here, boys. Hold.
Rolling
Wait.
through with ease right now
Go,
at Mount
secure
Albert.
there.
Away to Wallace. Wallace short at the line.
Last
Palu
one.
looking for the offload. Not going to get it on this occasion. They're 20 metres out from the line now, Mount Albert.
Late.
Wallace.
Still last.
Strong kick, but it takes a little deflection in there. Jonah Tull picks it up and just jogs it into the contact. So 8 minutes to go in this first half. And there's not a lot to split them so far. Both sides rolling through the middle of the park. Some standout performances in the forwards as Nick Wilson gets smashed to the ground. Matui Kalikali, the man with the telling contact, I believe. And now they shift it on Howick. They're going to try their luck out on the left.
To the side. Here, fellas. Go 4.
Radic centralizes via Brandon Lee, who's fresh on the field.
Go, nothing late. You can mark it not there.
Radic looking to get to his kick, has to step back inside due to the attention of Ropati. Takes a tough bounce. Tyrell picks it up and now goes looking for a break. He's going to go down that side of the field again. Really good work. That's back-to-back impressive kick returns from Smissy Tyrell. Taulu jumps out now. He's chopped down.
Here, Howard.
45 out from their own line. Sloppy play the ball. Paiapalu picks it up
Okay,
and
to the side now.
takes them 10.
Here, guys. Wait. Go 3.
Tua. Good carry from the skipper. Former Auckland Vulcans player. Spent some time over in Oz as well.
Last tackle, let him up. Go, nothing late.
Awe
Right side.
to Wallace. Wallace thinks about taking the line on. No gap developing there. Trying to get the offload away. He knew it was last tackle, Wallace. So a hand over there. So we've seen a couple of tackled on last plays so far, haven't we, Troy?
Yeah, both sides just failing to get the kick away.
There's a bit of a breeze around, so whether it's potentially a deliberate tactic just to sort of take away the risk, I guess, of giving away that 7 tackle set should you kick too deep due to the wind.
Move now. 9. Come here. Come here, fellas. Come here. Here. Go 2. How's that?
George Edwards is going nowhere. Ropati the man to take him to ground now. Radic gets to his kick. The winger's not back. Taulu's got a bit of work to do here. Takes a kind bounce for Taulu, who brings it in one-handed.
Okay, let him up. Just
Not a
Breaks
bad
the
return.
initial line.
Here.
The back three have provided good kick returns so far. Milan Brown now.
Up and square, Michael.
A tough carry. Represented the Toa Samoa under-20s earlier this year at the Upright Access Man Cup.
Okay, Luke, stand up. Here, matey. Go 3.
Away now to Mitui Kalikali,
Up now.
who is a large human being to say the least. Certainly adds some size to the middle of the Mount Albert pack. As Palu now breaks out on that left edge.
Play on.
Still going as Palu.
Last tackle, Marcus.
Wallace flicks the ball at the back. Away plays it late. Great try. We wait for confirmation. Samisi Tyrell is the man who has scored it. McMillan points to the spot. Let's take a look on the SAS Sport replay. Check out the ball from Aiden Awe here. Left it very, very late. They're loving that left edge. You can see here Wallace just flicks it out the back, and then Awe sums it up beautifully. Was it forward? Touchy was right on the spot for it, and then from there, Samisi Tyrell does enough to run it round and cross for Mount Albert's fourth.
Yeah, mate. Yeah. Okay, what do we got, man?
That's all good so far, just a 3-feet hill again.
What's that, sorry? Just creeping up early on the right side. Yeah, okay. I've seen a couple of times now they have all that up, but there may be an advantage going all the way.
Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, we are live streaming Farrelly Photos Woman in Action tomorrow. Live league will be coming courtesy of, and it's bounces off the SAS upright. Coming courtesy of the ARL, and you can get to those live stream matches through aucklandleague.co.nz.
First miss of the day for Wallace there. He's right up against the sideline. So the score remains Mount Albert Lions 22, Howick Hornets 12 as we enter the final 3 minutes or so of the first half here at Paparoa Park, and a very enjoyable game so far.
Been fast half, isn't it?
It has indeed. We saw probably discipline a bit of an issue in the opening exchanges, but it's really cleaned up over the last 10 or so minutes. And as a result, we've seen a fast-paced game. Wallace reels that one in. Hands it off to Cully.
Loose to the side, mate! Here, 13, here! Hold, mate, hold, Nick, hold, go!
Oh!
Look at that. And it's Matui Cully that we're going to have time off for a talking to here. I think at the end of it, a Howick shoulder charge.
Well,
Tune into
I'd
the
say
referee
an
chat.
attempted shoulder charge into a brick wall. So Nick will probably think, oh, I won't try that again.
He's lucky he's still got an arm. That was huge contact. They get the penalty at the end of it.
So get ready to kick for touch.
Safely into touch from Wallace, who's not going to chew too much off on that one in this breeze. Quite a gusty breeze down here today at Paparoa Park. Now as Ropati gets things back rolling,
another
and
big
Nick
hit.
Wilson, well, he says, I might have missed on the last one. It won't happen twice. Here is that man again, Cully. Boy, causing all sorts of drama in the middle of the field. Awe now gets on the back of a quick play of the ball. Boys look sharp so far. Aiden Awe, Rota battling on the play of the ball. He's eventually ragdolled to ground by Tussa. Awe now to Royden Gillett, who will just straighten right in front of the posts. How they would love another try here to really put some pressure on the Howick Hornets heading into the second half. Sampson plays at the line, brings in Wallace to Palu. Palu looking to break the first one. Vuiti Bao did just enough to slow him down.
Take it back, mate.
Back to play the ball, the call from McMillan. 2 minutes to go here in the first half at Paparoa Park. Wallace sneaks the kick in behind. It's bobbled. It's messy. Trent Wallace has scored. Trent Wallace, we're going to need to check with our touchy.
And I can't hear.
It was certainly messy. There was a knock-on in there somewhere. Who that was from is anyone's guess.
Okay. We're going to offside player who's interfered in the play.
And we're going to go out for a knock-on. So Mount Albert denied another one, which would have stretched it out to a 3-score lead.
You've gone through and put the ball on side. Someone's interfered when you've got the ball on, mate. Okay? We're going to have to go with the tree.
And a penalty there as well, so I'm not too sure exactly what the infringement there is. Of course, we're not getting the referee's audio, which you will be at home.
Keep coming, mate, keep coming. Wait for contact, wait. Go.
So Howick now looking to finish on a high as we enter the last
Don't go early, 9.
minute or so of the first half here at Paparoa Park. Very even first half. It is Mount Albert Lions who have the 10-point advantage right now. Vuiti Bao still fighting in the tackle. Time off, told to go back and play it. Time back on now.
Rory, move! Hey guys, hold here. Wait. Go.
Armiger to Toll. Toll plays out the back, brings Radic in, and now there's space down on this left edge. And now Jesse Kevin into space, beats the covering tackle of Royden Gillett. The ball's come loose.
Go forward.
Play on is the call. Wilson. Radic. Siren goes in the background. Radic kicks across field. Howick go up for it. Ball is loose. Tua misses the tackle now down low. The flick pass out the back. And it's going to break down. That'll get us to half time. And so at the break, it is the Russell Gordon Contractors Mount Albert Lions at 22. Scott Electrical Howick Hornets 12.
Trent. So the call was sort of cool. Yeah, I understand you're the kicker. You can put them on.
Very short break now. Do join us again. Back in 10 minutes.
My player would have standing in front of me that's what we've got, mate. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Can you come up early? Cut up early before he kicks. Exactly right, mate. That's good.
I'm Swilla Foxmolo from the Q Friends, I'm the player coach for the Otahu Leopards. Catch our under 15s this Sunday.
Real hard. It's almost impossible.
We're just around the corner from the 2018 Fairleigh Photos Women in League Day. Twila, how important are days like this for Women's Rugby League?
Oh, the Women in League round is an awesome opportunity to see the talent from our young ones, our under 13s, right up to our open women's grade. And I guess it's just giving back to those who are involved in the sport, you know, whether you're referee, we're coaching, players, and especially wives of footy players. It's just acknowledging their efforts to grow the game. And yeah, it's good to see that our Auckland Rugby League has dedicated a Sunday or a weekend for that. For awesome match, 2:30, Mount Albert versus Richmond.
How nice is it, obviously, with the Fairleigh Photos Women in League Day, to be able to bring together not only players, but women coaches, managers, referees, everyone's there in one place. How nice is it to be able to celebrate all of those women and their contribution?
It's fantastic to be able to celebrate every woman involved in rugby league. You know, with the professional pathway opening up for the women's game, it also opens up opportunities for women coaches, managers, and it's so great that we're kind of getting recognition and growing the game all over the place.
Fairleigh Photos have come on board this year, not only to sponsor the Women's Premiership and Pennant competitions, but also the Women in League Day. How big is their support?
Fairleigh Photos have been amazing. You know, this time last year we had a Women's Premiership with no sponsor, and it is just fantastic to be able to extend our partnership with a long-time ARL friend and supporter, and have them in the mix for this important and exciting part of our game.
Thank you to the major sponsors, Fairleigh Photos, major sponsors for Women League.
I'm Lynn Cameron, Director on the ARL board. Thank you for watching ARL TV.
You reckon?
Can get a quality, eh? No, it's going to start up again. 10 minute half. Yeah, it's going to start soon.